Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Women's Flag Football League finals day here at Ravenscraig in Motherwell. The semi-finals in the championship bracket are going on behind us. My name is Bez, and today I am joined by Chad, our BAFA CEO. Chad, welcome.
Thanks, Bez.
How are you finding today so far?
Absolutely brilliant. I think just seeing so many people playing flag football, so many familiar players with with a lot of the GB players here today is absolutely brilliant to watch them playing live.
And this is your first Women's Flag Football League
It
finals
is.
day. Yes, and it's been fantastic so far. The seeds, the semi-finals going on behind us are the Coventry Panthers, the London Flame, the Coventry Cougars, and the Leicester Huntsmen. So this is the elite level, the top end of women's sport domestically in the country. Obviously, I know a big passion of yours is to develop flag football further. How do you see the future of this going now that we're here with the present?
We've got a huge opportunity. I think if you look at what IFAF are talking about now, with flag football being the fastest growing sport in the world, particularly for girls and women, we've got a massive opportunity in the UK to make a big difference. I think if you look at flag football in schools, the NFL, we've got JAG-TAG, there's so much activity taking place. We've got a lot more work to do in BAFA to really get more people playing the sport younger, that then pipelines all the way through to women here today, probably in the future, more competitions, more players, more teams, more clubs.
Yeah, it's amazing to think about, obviously, with the big international cycles that we're having year on year, now linking all the way down to JAG-TAG, there was a spectacular couple of days earlier this year around the NFL London games, and we've seen youth teams travel kind of all over the world now playing. We've got the elite GB women's team. They'll be defending their title from Limerick in Paris later on this year. In terms of, we're really flying high at the moment, kind of, we're really starting to, there's a wave building now of flag football. So over the next months and years, kind of, how do you see the governing body positioning itself to aid in that development?
Yeah, we've got a big responsibility. Obviously, LA 28 is that's our outcome. We're trying to get to the Olympics is the aim. I think between now and then, it's the process goals of getting there. I think first for me is probably getting the right people in the right places, and that is good head coaches that are helping the players, and then doing a lot of work around the recruitment of the players. So, I mean, just here today, we've got countless GB players here. We've got more work to do to develop further players, but also to talent ID future GB players, alongside just looking at the camps that when we bring our players in, that it's elite environments, alongside the competitions they're playing. So, my focus with Jack and Nick particularly is looking at all the process goals between now and LA 28. And look, we want to win in European Championships. If you ask any of the players today, they're all going to say they want to win. I don't think that's the outcome we're trying to achieve now. It's about some of those steps that when we get to qualification for LA 28, we are ready to go.
Yeah, and I guess LA 28 is it's really interesting how the notification of that inclusion worldwide now has really seen the profile of almost everything that flag teams are doing and nations are doing around the world really, really start to rise. Do you see like a big push here in the UK around, like coverage and investment from, school leagues? Like, how do you see the pyramid starting to grow to create that wide base over the next, say now to 2028?
Yeah, I think, well, we've got some short-term things I think we need to do between now and 28. But honestly, I think we probably need to look to 32 with Brisbane, because there's a good chance that hopefully flag football stays in the Olympics. But I think between now and then, we've got to be very clear, probably post-school activity, about getting more clubs set up, more teams playing flag at different age groups, boys, girls, mixed, more competitions. And then obviously what we're doing through this is identifying talent. So not only getting more people playing the sport, but we're talent IDing earlier. We're getting those fundamentals in, the skill acquisition you need to play flag, like you're seeing today, really high standard. That takes time. So we want to catch the players a lot earlier. And that's going to be our objective between now and 28 for sure.
So I guess based off that talent ID and growing that base, does that mean that you kind of expect to see a push towards, one, we know we want to keep girls in sport across the board, whatever their sport is. But in terms of flag football, is it that school age transition from kind of youth sport to adult sport and giving them more opportunities there that we're identifying as a kind of a key point?
I think if you look at the pyramid of the whole ecosystem, We've got a fantastic GB program, to be honest, with our men's and women's. We've got a fantastic foundation with the schools. We've got more work to do across our youth and adult sections to grow participation. I'd probably say two things: younger and earlier play more competitions, and probably something at the under 18 area, or certainly around Bucks. We're very close to launching flag football in Bucks, which I think will be a game changer,
That would be so good.
particularly for women. You know, if you just look at the contact games last week with Big Wednesday, we could have a Big Wednesday for flag football, men and women. For me, that is helping develop the pipeline that will see more adults then play in the sport, which is what we're after.
Yeah. So I guess in terms of we want more people to see the sport, and like hopefully today will be a fantastic advert for that. I don't know if it'll be picked up on the mics, but the cheering behind us
Pretty loud
for the last little while has been fantastic. Do you think that there's, and what do you think is the key kind of aspect to trying to get people in the first place? Because I know I'm biased, I know that you're biased, but I find that, once people understand flag, they love it. So what do you see in the future that kind of BAFA can do to try and get people to see it and therefore love it?
Yeah. Good question. I think what we're talking about at the start today is about things on the field, like how do we make the sport better on the field, talent ID, participation. Other things would be about coaches, officials. So basically players have a fantastic experience is what we're after. I think what you're touching on, I think, is a really interesting point for me, which is the off the field things that grows a sport. So part of my role is to look at the finances, the commercials, the marketing, the brands, all these things that elevate and raise the profile of the sport. So people start hearing the stories about flag football. I mean, as much as people want to hear from me, for me, it's much more powerful hearing from the players, hearing from our elite athletes, our elite coaches about their story. And we need to do a much stronger job to raise the profile. So for me, there's probably two parts to the strategy. It's on the field and off the field, and they're both as equally as important.
Yeah, wow. And obviously you're still within your first year in post. So you had your first, I guess it's been a year first, right? Your first international championship, your first National Flag Football League, the first time seeing the national finals for the kids, and obviously today our first WFFL championship. That first year of just like gathering information. Well, one, I guess, what's that been like? And two, how do you think that will allow you to like frame your strategy and the strategy that your team around you kind of, come up with for the next 3, 5, 10 years?
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting question. I think it's probably about 8 months in the job now. It's gone quick. I think for me, the most important thing is talking to people. So I've been spending today talking to players, talking to the coaches, talking to the officials, talking to some of the volunteers, because I want to hear what they think about the sport. For me, we're not going to develop the sport if we're not about what in reality is a customer. And our job as an NGB is to support the customer. So I've been spending probably 8 months getting out as much as I can to see sport, both contact and flag, to understand, I think probably in short, the problems we're trying to solve to take the sport forward. So I'd say it's been quite busy for me to be both out and about versus some of the things behind the scenes that maybe you're not seeing that need to happen to take the sport forward.
And yeah, I mean, I guess there's stuff in the pipeline coming for the community to digest.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to be really close to launching a strategy. And I'd be careful about that word because I think it's been thrown around a few times. It's about a plan. What are we actually trying to do to take the sport forward to make a difference? And we want to be quite declared about that, so the community knows exactly what our intention is. But we're going to be putting everything behind it to take the sport forward. But there's probably a little bit of patience, because every time I speak to people, obviously there's certain things people want, but we're going to have to do things with the resources we've got really carefully. And therefore, we just need to be very focused on how we're trying to achieve everything.
Amazing. And I guess we'll look forward to that. I know for a fact that the community are excited to see that. I think everyone has everyone is super psyched, right? Everyone wants to see everything go well. Everyone is behind the national teams at whether it's the European Flag Football Championships or, the World Games in Chengdu, just about as disparate as you can imagine, but it's the same sport. I don't envy your job, but I'm glad that you're in post, and yeah, good luck, I guess, for the upcoming. But thank you very much for choosing to talk to us. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I won't make you pick a winner, but I will let you go and enjoy the rest of your day. But thank you very much.
Thank you.